The human body is a complex man and female sex organ. The human body is a complex and amazing organism, and one of the most fascinating aspects of our anatomy is the reproductive system. The reproductive system is responsible for the production of new life and is made up of different organs and structures. In this blog post, we will take a closer look at the differences between the male and female reproductive organs. The male reproductive system is made up of the testes, which produce sperm, and the penis, which is used for ejaculation. The testes are located in the scrotum, which hangs outside of the body. The scrotum helps to keep the testes at a slightly lower temperature than the rest of the body, which is necessary for sperm production. The penis is made up of three main parts: the shaft, the glans, and the urethra. The shaft is the main part of the penis, the glans is the sensitive head, and the urethra is a tube that runs through the penis and is used for urination and ejaculation. The female reproductive system is made up of the ovaries, which produce eggs, the fallopian tubes, which transport the eggs from the ovaries to the uterus, and the uterus, which is where the fertilized egg implants and develops into a fetus. The uterus is a muscular organ that is responsible for nourishing and protecting the developing fetus. The vagina is the opening that connects the uterus to the outside of the body. It is also the birth canal. The vulva is the external part of the female reproductive system, which includes the mons pubis, the labia major and minor, the clitoris and the vaginal opening. Both the male and female reproductive systems are essential for reproduction, but they have distinct functions and structures. In males, the testes produce sperm, which are necessary for fertilization, while in females, the ovaries produce eggs, which are necessary for fertilization. Both sexes have sexual organs that play a role in sexual reproduction and pleasure. It is important to note that the human body is diverse and not everyone identifies with the traditional binary gender norms and may have variations in their reproductive and sexual organs. It's also important to understand that the reproductive system is not only for procreation but also for sexual pleasure and expression. In conclusion, the male and female reproductive systems are intricately connected and work together to make reproduction possible. Understanding the differences between the two can help us better appreciate the beauty and complexity of the human body and how it works. The ovaries are two small organs located on either side of the uterus in the female reproductive system. They are responsible for producing eggs, also known as ova, and releasing them into the fallopian tubes during ovulation. The ovaries are also responsible for producing the female hormones estrogen and progesterone, which play a vital role in regulating the menstrual cycle and pregnancy. The ovaries are made up of three main types of cells: the germinal epithelium, the stroma, and the theca. The germinal epithelium is the outer layer of the ovary and contains the egg-producing cells, called oogonia. The stroma is the middle layer of the ovary and contains the cells that produce hormones. The theca is the innermost layer of the ovary and contains blood vessels and nerves. The ovaries are active from the time a female is born until the onset of menopause. From birth, a female's ovaries contain all the eggs she will ever have, called primordial follicles, which will gradually develop and be released during ovulation over her reproductive life. The menstrual cycle is controlled by a complex interplay of hormones, including estrogen and progesterone, produced by the ovaries, which regulates the growth and shedding of the uterine lining. The ovaries release an egg, which travels down the fallopian tube, and if it's fertilized by sperm, it implants in the uterus and pregnancy begins. If the egg is not fertilized, the uterine lining is shed, resulting in menstruation. It's important to note that the ovaries can be affected by a variety of conditions and diseases, such as ovarian cysts, ovarian cancer, and polycystic ovary syndrome (PCOS). Regular check-ups with a gynecologist can help detect and treat these conditions early. In conclusion, The ovaries are an essential part of the female reproductive system, responsible for the production of eggs and hormones. Understanding the function and structure of the ovaries can help us better appreciate the intricacies of the human body and a role it plays in reproduction and overall health. 2. The fallopian tubes, also known as the oviducts or uterine tubes, are two thin tubes that connect the ovaries to the uterus in the female reproductive system. They are responsible for transporting the eggs from the ovaries to the uterus, where fertilization and implantation can occur. The fallopian tubes have several important functions. First, they receive eggs from the ovaries during ovulation and transport them to the uterus. A lining of the fallopian tubes is lined with cilia, small hair-like structures that help move the egg along the tube towards the uterus. The fallopian tubes also provide an environment for fertilization to occur. When a sperm reaches the fallopian tube, it can fertilize the egg, resulting in the formation of a fertilized egg, or zygote. The fertilized They are responsible for transporting the eggs from the ovaries to the uterus, where fertilization and implantation can occur. The fallopian tubes have several important functions. First, they receive eggs from the ovaries during ovulation and transport them to the uterus. A lining of the fallopian tubes is lined with cilia, small hair-like structures that help move the egg along the tube towards the uterus. The fallopian tubes also provide an environment for fertilization to occur. When a sperm reaches the fallopian tube, it can fertilize the egg, resulting in the formation of a fertilized egg, or zygote. The fertilized egg then travels down the fallopian tube to the uterus where it implants and develops into a fetus. The fallopian tubes also play a role in preventing ectopic pregnancy, the potentially life-threatening condition in which a fertilized egg implants outside of the uterus, usually in the fallopian tube. The fallopian tubes have a small opening called the ostium, which prevents the fertilized egg from continuing to move down the tube and instead directs it towards the uterus. It's important to note that the fallopian tubes can be affected by a variety of conditions such as blockages, infection, and inflammation, which can cause infertility, ectopic pregnancy, and chronic pelvic pain. Some of the conditions that can affect the fallopian tubes are pelvic inflammatory disease (PID), endometriosis, and pelvic adhesions. In conclusion, the fallopian tubes are an essential part of the female reproductive system, responsible for transporting the eggs from the ovaries to the uterus, providing an environment for fertilization and preventing ectopic pregnancy. Understanding the function and structure of the fallopian tubes can help us better appreciate the intricacies of the human body and a role it plays in reproduction and overall health. 3. The uterus, also known as the womb, is a muscular organ located in the female reproductive system, between the bladder and the rectum. It is responsible for providing a nourishing environment for a fertilized egg to develop into a fetus, and for the delivery of a baby during childbirth. The uterus is made up of several layers of tissue, including the endometrium, which is the innermost layer that lines the uterus, and the myometrium, which is the thick muscular layer that surrounds the uterus. The cervix, which is the lower part of the uterus, connects the uterus to the vagina. The uterus plays an important role in the menstrual cycle. During the menstrual cycle, the endometrium thickens and prepares for pregnancy. If a fertilized egg implants in the endometrium, pregnancy occurs. If the egg is not fertilized, the endometrium is shed, resulting in menstruation. The uterus also plays an important role in childbirth. During labor, the myometrium contracts and pushes the baby out of the uterus and through the cervix and vagina. After childbirth, the uterus will return to its normal size and shape. It's important to note that the uterus can be affected by a variety of conditions such as endometriosis, fibroids, and cancer. Regular check-ups with a gynecologist can help detect and treat these conditions early. In conclusion, The uterus is a vital organ in the female reproductive system that plays a crucial role in pregnancy, childbirth and menstrual cycle. Understanding the function and structure of the uterus can help us better appreciate the intricacies of the human body and a role it plays in reproduction and overall health. Thank you, and please subscribe to assist my channel.